Hi, guys, and welcome back to My Verbal Journal. I'm Macy, your host, and if you're new here, welcome. This is a podcast where we talk about everything from nutrition, fitness, mental health, and just navigating life in your 20s. And this week, we are going to be diving into how less is more in life. And this is something I've had to learn the hard way time and time again, and I still struggle with this every single day. I feel like with social media just in our faces all the time showing us what everyone else is doing and achieving, it can just feel so it's so easy to just feel behind and like you're never doing enough. When in reality, you're probably doing too much if you're anything like me. And not only does this lead to just constant frustration and burnout, but it's actually delaying your progress and actually setting you back. So, before we get into the details and what we can do about it, let's start with our segments where I discuss what I've been loving lately and an unpopular opinion that I have, and then I'll just do some housekeeping like life updates. But yeah, so some things I've been loving lately. Number one, pear and apple flavored things, or just pears and apples in general. Caramel apple recipes, apple cider, like pears just simply existing because I feel like for half the year I forget they exist. And then I'm like, oh my God, wait, why why have I not been eating these? They're so fucking good. So, they're in season right now, which also means they're cheaper at the grocery stores. So yeah, highly recommend trying pears if you are anything like me and like haven't had one in a while. Honestly, I've met a lot of people that say they've never even had a pear in their life, so you should give it a shot. And yeah, anything pear and apple flavored as we're kind of moving away from the pumpkin October vibes, getting into the more wintry flavors. And then the second thing I've been loving lately is my workout split, which I'll get into the details later in this episode because it's kind of more going along the lines of less is more. Um, and the reason I've been loving it, I've just actually like I can feel myself getting stronger and I'm like seeing myself get stronger too, and it's just like been super rewarding. And so yeah, I've just been actually really loving and feeling comfortable with what I've been doing in the gym lately. So, my unpopular opinion, I don't even know if this is really unpopular. I feel like a lot of people feel this way. Um, but I hate flip-flops. Like, hate them. I don't think they're good fashion sense. Like, they don't go good with anything. I don't like wearing them myself. Some girls can pull them off, but men should not be allowed to wear flip-flops. They should not make men's flip-flops. Like, it is the single biggest turnoff. Like, if I see a guy wearing flip-flops, it's immediately like I can't. I can't do it. I don't want to see your feet. Like I just don't. And they're just so even the sound they make they're like so annoying. Like I can handle Birkenstocks totally fine. I wear Birks in the summer, but like flip-flops in between your I can't. I can't. But yeah, that's my unpopular opinion, which I don't even know if it's unpopular because I feel like a lot of girls feel that way when guys wear flip-flops. So, yeah, but not much has really changed since I last spoke to y'all, but it is officially November, which means it's basically Christmas, girl math, and I'm so incredibly excited. I feel like as I got older, like Christmas slowly lost its magic, specifically like around the ages 16 to 19. For me, just Christmas was like not the same, and it just felt like honestly super depressing. But for some reason, last year the magic came back. So I'm hoping that I feel the same way again this year. I feel like I will because I'm already like getting excited for it. Um, so yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to. Just going home, getting out of Texas, and actually like having snow. Like Colorado just got a huge snowstorm. Um, and so yeah, I'm jealous of that. My brother literally went skiing today, and here I am in Texas, and it's 70 degrees outside, which I know I shouldn't be complaining, guys. I complain about Texas every single time. I swear I love TCU. If you're looking into TCU, come here. The school is great. I just living in Texas is just not my vibe, not for me. Will not be staying a second longer than I have to. But that's besides the point. Um, but yeah, it's almost final season, and this semester literally went by so fast. I know as you get older, like time goes by faster and faster because it's like um a smaller portion of your life, but holy shit. Like I feel like the semester just started and it's literally almost done. But yeah, I'm excited to actually get out of Texas for a few days, literally 24 hours. On Tuesday, I'm going home for the Avalanche and the Colorado Avalanche and Denver Nuggets charity gala, which if you don't know, the Colorado Avalanche is the hockey team in Colorado and the Nuggets are the basketball team, if you're not into sports. But yeah, it's a charity gala and I'm just super fucking excited. I'll hopefully get to meet a bunch of the players and dress up and yeah, I just can't wait. There's also a bunch of like food vendors from different restaurants in Colorado, so I'm hoping to just make some connections in the nutrition dietetics industry to hopefully open up some doors and just, make connections because ultimately they are everything. So yeah. Um, but also when I go home, one of my I have two bunnies. I had two bunnies. One of them um unexpectedly passed away about a month ago, and his name was Buster. The other one's Bolt. And yeah, so it was super unexpected. He basically just his organs like twisted, and he had an internal bleed and went septic, and they really couldn't do anything about it. So that was really sad. But we're actually getting a new bunny, and he's coming home on Monday. He's just a tiny little baby. So I'll be able to see him when I go home, which I'm so excited for. Um, but yeah, we basically just wanted to get another one because uh, the one we already have is going to be super lonely, and it's good to just for them to have each other. So yeah. So I'm gonna fly home. I'll get to see him. We're deciding between two names. Number one is Moose after Mikko Rantanen, and number two is Roscoe after Ross Colton, both of which are Avalanche players. Shocker, I know. Um, so if you, I'll probably post a picture of him on my podcast Instagram. So if you're not following, you should follow it at myverbaljournal.let's chat on Instagram. Um, and you guys can vote for which name you like better. Ultimately, it's probably me and my parents that decide, but like you guys can still vote. Um, so yeah, Moose or Roscoe, let me know. But yeah, other than that, honestly, nothing that's super new. Just trying to finish the semester strong. But yeah, let's get into today's episode. Um, as I've mentioned time and time again, I've struggled with over exercising. Yes, I'm talking about it again because it applies to literally everything. Um, for the past 2 years, I've struggled with this. It started freshman year of college when I was sitting on the bench playing soccer at Bentley University, which made me feel so much shame I and just ultimately just defeated my entire self-worth. Um, and resulted in me forcing myself to go to the gym on top of practicing and lifting since I wasn't playing in the games. And like this makes sense. A lot of the non-starters would go run and do a workout in the gym to get fitness in and try to stay in game shape. And at first it was completely innocent and healthy, but over the 2 years I was at Bentley, it turned into way too much. I'd always loved working out. growing up as a competitive gymnast. Obviously, I've talked about that before. Fitness has always just been like an integral part of my life. But now I was using it as a punishment, and I started relying on it as my literally sole source of serotonin. Um, I got super into spin, Pilates, running, and lifting. Yeah. And then even yoga. So, yeah, really trying to do it all. At least I wanted to. So in the spring, during our off season, we only would practice 3 to 4 times a week because of like NCAA rules. We had like a limit on the amount of time during off season that we were allowed to train and be lifting um as a team. Like obviously you could do whatever you wanted on your own. But yeah. So we practiced 3 to 4 times a week, and I think we lifted 3 times a week. Lifted 3 times a week and practiced 3 times a week is what if I'm remembering correctly. But on top of that, I was also going to spin classes, which like spin cycle classes. I was probably going 3 times a week. I was hitting leg days twice a week, and then I was also doing Pilates on top of that. Um, Basically, at this time in my life, I did not feel worthy because for so long, my source of validation was soccer and my athleticism. Like I said, growing up as a gymnast 6 hours a day and then playing soccer, like sports, that was my identity. Like I did not know who I was without it. So when I felt like I was failing in that aspect of my life due to injuries and sitting on the bench and feeling like I was literally getting worse at the sport, um, part of me just turned to boys for validation. Great. Awesome. Sure, a lot of you gals have been there. Um, that resulted in a lot of my self-worth being tied to my body and what I looked like. So yeah, I was over exercising because I was terrified of losing my body because I wasn't playing soccer as much. And it was the only thing that made me feel worthy and happy because nothing beats the post-workout feeling. I still stand by that. So I was just doing it as much as I could because I wasn't getting any source of happiness from literally anything else. It was Working out was a distraction for me. It was something I felt accomplished. I felt like I was doing something good for myself. And that's awesome. You should feel those things after you work out. But it started out slow. Like I wasn't super over exercising to where it was like noticeable or like harmful to my health at first, but it developed more and more. And people were commenting on like, wow, you're so dedicated, you're so disciplined. Some people were even saying, wow, you look so good. And I hadn't even realized that my body had changed. Like I didn't even realize that maybe like I had more definition in my abs or my butt was bigger. Like I literally felt the same. And I was never working out to like lose weight. I mostly just wanted to tone out and build a bigger butt, like every girl. So the validation I was getting from other people about how disciplined I was with the gym and fitness filled that void that soccer once gave me. So I'd stopped relying on men for validation because that ultimately just made me feel worse and worse about myself. Talk about that maybe in another episode, maybe. I don't even if you've listened to the pod, you know I don't really talk about relationships and shit like that. Maybe maybe in the future, let me know if you guys want to hear about that. Like, but that's not really what the focus of this podcast is. But yeah. So my reliance on men for validation kind of decreased because I realized it wasn't working. It was honestly more harmful than anything. But my over exercising just progressed and I started relying on that for validation. And it kind of peaked, not kind of, it really peaked last year at this time from September to December. Um, so I'll go through my weekly split last year and then I'll compare it to what I'm doing now and what has me actually feeling good now. Um, Trigger warning, don't do what I did last year. What I'm about to tell you, don't fucking do it. It's way too much. And me looking back at what I used to do, I'm like, Macy, what the fuck is wrong with you? how were you doing all of that? How were you even alive? And then I look at how little I was eating, and it makes it about 30 times worse. So, with that, my past workout split. Monday, Monday morning, 6 a.m. spin class. Shout out Katie, best spin instructor at TCU in general. She slays. She's also in the nutrition dietetics program. Love her. Still go to her spin classes, only once a week now. But yeah, last year, Monday, 45-minute spin class, then yoga. Plus, I was walking 20,000 steps a day probably. And then Tuesday, I would hit legs, walk on the treadmill, and do yoga. Wednesday, spin again, 6 a.m. spin class, then do yoga. Thursday, I would do a push day. So that is chest, shoulders, tris. And then I would do abs, and then I would run. I would run after doing 2 days of spin and a leg day. Like what? Did I think that was gonna help my muscles grow? Like what the fuck was I thinking? I don't know. But anyways, Friday, I would do legs again and walk. Saturday, back and bis, abs, yoga. Sunday, I would tell myself, oh, that's your rest day. I couldn't take a rest day. My brain would not let me take a rest day. I would fully wake up with the intention of taking a rest day, and I would like just be like, oh, just go on a little walk outside, you know? All of a sudden, I'm fucking running 4 miles. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Not really sure how I did this. I mean, I lost weight rapidly and literally felt like a shell of a person. I hated the way my body looked. I was so tiny. I was hungry all of the fucking time. I was sore 24/7. Hence why I did yoga like every single day because I was like, oh, I'll just stretch and roll out. Like, I'll be fine. Like, when I was playing soccer, I was burning like 1,000 calories a day at practice. So, like, this, nothing. So, yeah, that was my past workout split. Do you think that I got stronger? Absolutely not. I was actually deteriorating. My body was literally taking my muscles and breaking it down, and using it for energy. Everything I was eating was being used as energy. None of it could even be used to grow my muscles. So all of my workouts continued to get shittier and shittier. Like instead of progressive overload, it was like progressive underload. Like I was not able to lift as heavy week to week, um, or do as many reps. I literally felt myself getting weaker and weaker every single time. Did that stop me? No, I still in my head was like, you gotta grind. Can't skip a day. Like you have to burn this many calories on your Apple Watch or else you cannot leave the gym. Hence why I was spending 2+ hours at the gym because, well, when you're not lifting as heavy and you don't have as much muscle mass, you're not burning as many calories. So I'd be looking at my Apple Watch like, what the fuck? Like 3 weeks ago during leg day, I burned this many calories and now I'm only burned this many. Oh my God, that means I need to go run. That means I need to go. Like, what the my mind was literally going insane. Like, I was doing way too much. I was putting so much pressure on myself, and it was horrible. I felt horrible all the time. I was tired all the fucking time. My body hurt every second. Like, awful. And I was making zero progress. I was actually going backwards. So, now let's talk about my current workout split, which has me feeling so fucking good. I'm getting stronger. I can feel it. I can see it. It's great. So, my current workout split Monday is a glute and hamstring focused leg day. So, um, excuse me, sorry. I will do hip thrusts and then I'll do a superset of Bulgarian split squats and RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. And then I'll do glute kickbacks or glute hyperextensions and then calf raises. And it just depends on if I'm feeling glute kickbacks, I'll do that. If I'm feeling hyperextensions, I'll do that. Or if whatever machine's open, like I'll just do that. So that's my Monday leg day. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total exercises. I'm doing I'm going till failure. Like I'm lifting as heavy as I possibly can while still maintaining good form. And then I'll maybe cool down on the treadmill for like 10 minutes. And then I'll roll out and do some light stretching and leave. And it literally makes me feel amazing. Okay. Tuesday, push day. So I'll do bench press, and then I'll do hang cleans, and then overhead shoulder press, superset with dumbbell tricep extensions, and then I'll do dumbbell single arm bench press, superset with lateral shoulder raises. Then I'll go maybe cool down on the treadmill, roll out, stretch, dip. Wednesday is my cardio day, so I'll do a 30-minute spin class and some light yoga, stretching before that just to like warm up. Shout out Katie, best spin teacher again. And then Thursday is my rest day. And when I say rest day, I don't mean I'm going out for a walk and then end up running 4 miles. I mean, I'm doing some light yoga in the morning to just kind of set my intention right for the day. And then maybe going on a walk like later in the day if I'm feeling like getting some sunlight. And like rest, it doesn't mean you have to literally sit on your couch all day. Like I'm still walking to class, like I'm still doing that, but I'm not going to the gym. If I do go to the gym, it's to do yoga, maybe walk on the treadmill for like 10 minutes. Just because keeping the discipline of like showing up can sometimes just help you from getting off track, but you don't have to go to the gym just to burn like it's not about the calorie burn. It's just about the discipline of going, and then I'll maybe just walk and then do some yoga and leave. And that's it. Then Friday, quad focus leg day. So I'll do back squats, backward elevated lunges on the Smith machine, and then heel elevated dumbbell squat to front lunge. I can post all these exercises too if you guys are interested, let me know. Then I'll do step ups and calf raises. Again, 5 exercises. I'm in, I'm out. Saturday, back and bis, lat pull downs, bent over barbell rows, hammer curls, pull ups, standing cable lat push downs, and bicep curls. In, out. Sunday, rest day. That's it, period. The less is more principle, it literally applies to exercise so much. Like, you have to take rest days. And if you're doing too much and you're committing yourself to too many different forms of exercise, like, you're not going to see progress. Because if you're doing all these different things and it changing your routine every week, like, your body you're not committing fully to one thing, or your muscles aren't committing fully to one thing and progressively getting better. You're just kind of all over the place. And like, if you're doing too much, like I was last year, then your body's actually just going to break down and you're going to feel like shit all the time, literally all the time. Especially for women on your cycle, you're feeling different days, different times of the month, like, and you have to honor that. And if you want to see progress, you have to listen to your body. It's not an option. Like, you have to listen to it because it knows what it needs. And if you don't respect that, you're disrespecting yourself, and you're not gonna benefit from that in any situation. Is going balls to the wall and doing as much as you can going to help you? It's not gonna help you mentally, and it's certainly not gonna help you physically. It's literally science. But okay, that's enough about exercise. I think you guys get the point. But the less is more principle doesn't just apply to that. It applies to literally every aspect of life. We're constantly being told to add things to our routines, to buy new products that will quote unquote change our life. The wellness industry is literally popping the fuck off right now because it's capitalizing on the fact that all of us believe we aren't doing enough. So it's telling us to buy more and do more, and we're listening because we feel like we're not doing enough. Hustle culture has created a society of individuals who are just constantly comparing where they're at to other people. And we keep piling more and more on our plates, and I'm extremely guilty of this. Like every email that comes my way about a new academic opportunity or a job, I look into it and I apply for it. I'm constantly overcommitting myself to things because I just can't say no without feeling like I'm failing in a sense or I'm like missing out on an opportunity. Like it's just even next semester, like I am so scared because I am taking, let's see, I'm taking 19 credit hours. I think that's 6 classes if I'm calculating correct because one is a lab and a 4 credit course. But yeah, 19 credit hours plus I got an internship with TCU Sports Nutrition. And I'm shadowing in a lab doing research with the connection between food and our genes, which I'm super excited for that. And then I'm also a personal trainer at the rec center. Plus I do modeling. Plus I have the podcast. So it's just like, Macy, how do you think you're going to have time to live? Like, obviously, plus I still need to go to the gym. I need to still cook. I need to still take care of myself. I need to get sleep. So it's like, when is enough enough? So I ended up emailing the sports nutrition internship and letting them know it was supposed to be 8 to 10 hours a week. But I just let them know with my class schedule and everything else that I'm doing that I know myself, and if I commit to 8 to 10 hours a week, I will show up, but I know that's not realistic for me. Um, so I told them I could do 3 to 5 hours a week, and they were completely fine. They're like, we loved your interview, like we'd love to still have you on the team, like 3 to 5 hours, totally get it, like totally fine. So people are accommodating. People understand that you can't just do everything. You're not letting them down. You're gonna let them down more if you overcommit and then you can't actually end up fulfilling those expectations that you set. Then you're letting them down. And you're letting yourself down. So understanding when you need to take a step back is so, so important because then you can actually give 100% to the things that are important and to the things that you actually have time to do. Because if you're doing 500 things at once, you can't possibly do the best job possible at all of those things at once. Like it's humanly, it's not possible. So yeah, putting your best foot forward and prioritizing things and maybe putting some things on the back burner that you have time to do later, or that if you know you want to, I don't know, write a book, but that's not something, you're also in school and you're doing other things. That's not something you need to do right now. Like, you're not behind because you didn't finish your book by age 40. Like, you have time. And even if you do start writing your book right now, it's probably not going to be as good as it would if you had the time to actually fully commit to it. So that's what I mean when I say you can't progress if you're overcommitting and doing too much because you can't actually give 100% to what you're doing. So the less is more principle also just goes into like, it ultimately comes down to quality over quantity. And this goes with people in your life, projects you do, school assignments, college applications, work, everything. Quality over quantity. You don't want a bunch of people in your life that don't make you feel good, that don't align with your values just because you want to please them and because you feel like you have a lot of friends. Like, you want quality relationships that you actually have time to commit to and to pour into those people and be the best possible friend you can be. Because or else, what's the point? Again, with school assignments, I am constantly guilty of this. I will decide, okay, I have so much shit to do. I'm gonna go to the library for 3 hours and grind all this shit out. So I go to the library, I sit down, I open my computer, and I'm like, where do I start? Let's see. Oh, I have this assignment, I have this lab, I have this paper, and then I have that quiz I need to study for. And then I'm just bouncing between all of the different things. I have like 10,000 tabs open. I'm like, oh, but this is more important. Oh, wait. And then I'm halfway through an assignment, and then I'm like, oh shit, I also have this thing I need to do. And then I'm jumping to that. And then I leave the library and it's 3 hours went by and I literally didn't get one full assignment complete. Like I just did a bunch of random shit. And then I feel like horrible about myself. But if I would have just prioritized, okay, Macy, you're going to sit down, you're going to open these 2 tabs, and you're going to do this one thing until it's done. I would have got one assignment done, then I could start the next one. And that eliminates your brain from just having to switch back and forth from all these different things. And the tasks end up taking you 10 times longer than they would have if you just would have focused on one at a time. Same thing with like if you're applying to college and you really want to boost your extracurriculars, so you committed to play soccer and you were in the band and you were the head of this student council and you volunteered at 3 different organizations, like it's too much. Like the colleges are going to look at that and be like, okay, but did they care about any of this? Like what do they actually enjoy doing? Like were they just doing this to do it, you know? Like whereas if you would have devoted yourself to one organization to volunteer for and really made an impact and raised a bunch of money and done projects and really devoted into that one thing, that would have turned out better. You would have felt better about what you were doing because you actually would have cared about it. And colleges would see that, hey, this person commits to something and they really go through with it and they did a really great job. So same thing with work. If you're constantly saying yes to all these different projects that your boss is throwing at you, but you can't possibly complete them all to the best, highest quality, that's not helpful. Because then the boss is just going to have to redo it, or you're going to have to redo it. And then they're just going to be frustrated because it's not all to the best it can. Even if you do it all and you think you commit yourself and put 100% into all of it, there's always trade-offs. Maybe by doing that, you're only allowing yourself to get 5 hours of sleep a night. You're having to give up cooking yourself nutritious meals. You're going to have to give up going to the gym and going to that yoga class or hanging out with a friend that you really enjoy spending time with because you overcommitted and put yourself in a corner, and now you're trading off for other aspects of your life. And this takes such a huge toll on your mental health and your physical health. Like, it's important to be well-rounded, but you can't possibly be well-rounded if you're overcommitting to one aspect of life. You can't commit your time to 18 friends and have a meaningful friendship with all of them. Like, that's just not realistic. You can't have 4 jobs and do a good job at every single one of those things. It's just not possible, and that's totally okay. There's time, and you're not behind. If you really take what you're doing seriously and prioritize what you want to, that's what's going to get you where you want to be. It's not by saying yes to every opportunity. There's always going to be time, and you're going to have to know when to say no to some things. And you're not a failure for turning something down or not applying for something. It's having the self-awareness to know, hey, I have a lot on my plate right now. I haven't been sleeping well lately, and I already feel rushed every second of every day. So I'm going to pass on that opportunity. That's growth and that's maturity, and that's how you know that you're satisfied with where you're at and who you are, and you're not seeking validation from external things and through your productivity. So ultimately, less is just more. And that's something I've had to come to terms with. It sucks to hear because you want to do it all. Like, I get it. Like, I love Pilates and I love spin and I love running and I love all of that, but I can't right now. I'm not running and I'm not doing Pilates because right now I'm really focusing on my strength training. And guess what? I'm seeing progress with my strength training. I'm seeing muscle growth and feeling stronger, and I feel good about it. But I wouldn't be seeing that if I was also running and doing Pilates and doing like it's just not feasible. And it would hinder my progress in my strength training because it would make me sore and then I wouldn't be able to lift to failure. I wouldn't be able to progressively overload. So just understanding that different times of your life call for different things to take priority, and that's okay. You don't need to do it all right now. You don't have to do it all at once. You literally can't. And it's important to put yourself first and your mental and physical health first. That's more important than how high up you are at your work right now, like getting that raise. If you're not happy or satisfied with who you are and what you're doing and how you feel, none of that matters. So take a step back, prioritize things, and stop overcommitting and doing too much and comparing yourself to what other people are doing and where they're at. And oh my God, this person's already married and I haven't even had a relationship yet. And oh my God, this person just made partner at their law firm and I'm still haven't even passed the bar. Like, stop. Everyone's on their own timeline, and that's okay. Give 100% to what's important to you right now, and you will make progress a lot quicker than if you try to do a million different things and half-ass all of them, or do a good job at all those things, but then you get burnt out and your mental and your physical health goes down the toilet. So, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this episode made you feel better about where you're currently at and what you're currently doing, because I promise it's enough and you're not behind. It's so much better to give your best effort and to allow yourself to thrive mentally, physically, socially, in your career, etc., instead of overcommitting to one of those sections and burning yourself out. So I would encourage you to write down your top 3 priorities right now, no matter what it is, whether it's committing to relationships, whether it's in your career, whether it's a certain application, getting into a certain school. Write 3 things down and write down a plan for how you're going to focus on achieving those things. And then write down 3 things that are important to you, but need to be on the back burner for the present moment to allow you to focus on the top 3 things that you set as your priority. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend or someone else who may be doing too much currently and could benefit from this episode. I could think of like 5 people off the top of my head that need to hear this. And so yeah, it would mean a lot to me if you guys could rate the podcast 5 stars or leave a review. I love hearing your guys' feedback, and if you guys ever have any suggestions or topics you want to hear about, feel free to DM me. My personal Instagram at Macy Lee Jones, and the podcast Instagram at myverbaljournal.let's chat. As always, those are linked in the show notes below. So yeah, if you want daily bowl recipes / inspiration, I post a bowl of the day every single day on the podcast Instagram. There's recipes on there. There's just a bunch of good stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and follow. I'm about to go watch the Avalanche game and eat a sweet potato. As always, currently it is Saturday night and the TCU game is going on right now. I went to a couple tailgates with my friends. First time going to tailgates this year because normally not really my vibe. But I actually socialized, guys. Crazy, I know. The past 2 nights. So that's an accomplishment for me. Will I still be in bed tonight at 11? Probably earlier. Absolutely. But I'm so excited it was super good to just get out of the house and go to those tailgates, but I really did not want to go to the football game and be around a bunch of people, and the Avs are playing, so I'd rather watch that. But anyways, I will let you guys go because I've been ranting for like 5 million years. I didn't really have a script for today. I just kind of wanted to say what was on my fucking mind. So yeah, that's my verbal journal for today. Thanks for listening. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Much love. Macy.